Hello, welcome to class this month, Foot Loose or Foot Connected. So I love a foot theme, and I know all of our OPC peeps love it too. This one is not about the exercise footwork. It's actually about paying attention to the point, flex, turn out, or parallel happenings of the feet. So we will do footwork, and we will start there in just a moment. But I want you just to really be paying attention. Maybe you can't watch because on a lot of the exercises you'll see your feet, but I want you to really play with and paying attention to, are you on all four corners of the foot if that's what's called for? Are you actually getting both of the sides of the ball of the foot and both sides of the heel? Or are you turning like that, right? Or falling in on your arch? Are you over pointing, right? There's such a thing as pointing the foot and over pointing the ankle, right? I can do that, and that doesn't actually make any of this turn on. But if I point the foot, now I can actually still activate my hamstrings, glutes, and pull these quads up, right? As opposed to that, and it all just deflates. So just knowing where that is. And if you get your feet crampy today, it happens. We're working with them, so they might get a little tired. They might get a little not happy with you. So first, we're just going to warm up with the push-through bar nose spring. I want to go right into footwork in case anyone's got any tight backs going on. So look at your feet. They are in parallel, and they're going to want to do funky things here. So first, you just want to make sure that they're not wrapping around the bar, that you're just standing on them. And then I like to just think about reaching my arch forward, and that keeps me out of locking my knees. Lift the bar up, again, nose spring, pull your waist back, and then reach the bar forward. And again, we'll pull the waist back and lift it up. So what we're not trying to do is turn your feet around the bar. If you feel like the bar is hitting your feet, you can take your feet a little bit more to the side. But again, keep the foot flat like you could stand on it. It's never about the bar going past the vertical poles. It's about the longest flexion here. How can we lift our ribs off of the thighs? One more time. Round and reach, round and lift. Ooh, okay. Take one arm around your waist, round it back, and then pull the waist back and lift it up. Notice if one of your feet wants to lift off the bar now that you only have one arm on, right? Reach through those feet, getting to keep your eye on them every once in a while to make sure they're just still standing still. They're not loose. They're not just hanging out. They're super connected switch arms, right? They're part of the leg reach. So not just resting on the poles. If yours feel like they're resting, maybe bend your knees a little bit, get a little closer, and then push your feet into the poles to get the back of your legs to activate. One more. And then take one arm on the bar, one arm across. Give it a twist. If you can't reach the bar, you go as far as you can. And then switch. Good. Okay, now you need a safety chain on. As promised, we're going to start with footwork. If you have weighted springs and you've got a little bit of a stiff back, you can do just one medium to light spring for today. The other thing you can also do is put your Wunda chair back here so you can slide back even more and give yourself more space. So for this, it's normally done on a guillotine. It feels really interesting there. So it does feel a little tight here. But your head's at the edge of the mat, arms down by your side. They're just resting, and now your heels are together, toes are apart, and you're looking at your feet. So this is one of the few exercises we could just see our feet without looking down, right? So you're just looking up, and there's your feet. Point and flex a couple times. So just getting a feel for the bar, noticing what your feet do, and then find a point that is from the muscles. So I had a teacher call this your butt foot. So I have my hands on my thighs, and as I point through my foot, I can feel this turn on, and I want to get to the maximum onness of the back of my legs, and then keep that same position at the ankle as you bend and straighten the legs. And then come onto the arches parallel and together. And so I'm not just crunching my toes, I'm trying to curl them up to the sky as I curl my heels up. And this feels a little interesting in the legs. And then I bend and reach, bend and reach, keeping that tailbone down. I have a lot of activity in the calves and the legs. And I'm watching the feet. Do they want to roll about? This, whatever happens to your feet here, is happening when you have straps on your arches. They're doing this little movement thing, but you can't see it or often feel it, right? And then walk up onto your heels. It's going to make the bend's going to get smaller and smaller, and that's okay. This one, you want your toes nice and long, so they're not pulling back to you necessarily. You're just reaching those heels up, and you're feeling the whole heel on both feet into that bar. And then come onto the balls of the feet, squeezing the heels together, flex and point. And what I try to do is stand on the ball of my foot and then reach my heels up. So that way I'm not foot loose and just letting the spring stretch my ankle. I'm dictating how much I can reach those heels up. And then I pull the heels away as I push the ball of the foot into the bar. 3 more. And then bend it in. Woo! Okay. So not only do you stretch your hamstrings and your lower back, you also worked your center, and our feet should be nice and warmed up. We're going to put this away. We will come back to this, but I want to keep playing with your feet and other exercises. So sorry, you'll have to set up again another time, but that's okay. Every once in a while, that's okay. So now what I want you to do is put your opposite leg spring on. So now that you'll have your foot in parallel, strap around the arch, you're still going to point through the foot. So now remember, how much is too much, right? So take your arms either bent with the hands above your elbows or even a little straighter if you want it to be a little harder. Opposite leg, the one that's not on the spring, is bent and pushing down. So I'm pressing down on all 4 corners of my foot. I'm not rolling my knee in or out. It's straight up to the sky. And you should feel your arch trying to hover off of the mat. Then as I point through the ankle, I can only point as much as it's coming from the seat, right? As much as coming from my fascia. I'm not over pointing so that this ends up in my calf and my knee. And you're just going out and in. So this is basically a parallel movement with a nice point. And then you stay out there and you're going to go down and up. And again, there's a nice point. It's not an over point, but it's nice enough that the whole foot is touching the strap so that as you go down and you lift up, you're standing in the strap from your fascia. You should feel that hamstring connection. So the feet connected really does help you connect more to your fascia. Again, I had a teacher called it your butt feet. Then you're going to drag your foot along the mat, bring the knee into the chest, put the foot down, slide it out, lift the leg. Press the leg down. I'm bending the knee. I'm still standing on the strap, so I can only bring this in as much as I'm standing in it. And then I slide it out, lift. 1 more. Bend the knee, keeping that foot on the strap, even when the spring is closing. Then straighten the leg. You can either keep the hip down or lift the hip up as you do your circle. Whatever you choose, the spring is going to want to pull you around. The more you can keep the whole arch with a working point, not a locked point, the more you're going to feel your outer hip and inner thigh working in this from your center. Reverse out to the side. But if you sickle your foot into the strap and you just do it from the side of your foot, or maybe you try to overpoint or even flex, you're not going to feel it walk its way up into your center. Switch sides. Whew. Something so simple can get a little burny. Okay. So again, not an overpoint, not a flex. I see a lot of flexed feet in these springs. With the straps, you really want to feel that foot like a hand pointing over the strap, only as much as it can hold on to the strap, out and in. Because you also can overpoint, and I've seen straps just slide up people's